Okay, good morning sa inyong lahat. And this is Nanay Jet, and this is...
Money!
Okay, good morning, Tay.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
and let's
Yes.
have our morning toast. And we are going to have our marriage empowerment segment once again. Good morning sa inyong lahat. And while waiting for the audience, I'm reminding everyone to click the button above us. Mayroon diyang button natin na ang sabi ay you are going to click para mga mababasa namin yung mga comments ninyo,
Yes.
and at the same time we are going to acknowledge yung mga greetings natin. So once again, good morning sa inyong lahat. Shout out kay Sir Joseph, kay Mama Lu, sino pa ba? Sister Jen, Momo, and then we have Sis Bennett. Yun yung mga regulars natin sa
Mm.
every Tuesday po. So while waiting for everyone, we are going to remind you na yung nanonood sa amin ngayon at hindi pa nakapag-download ng ebook natin, yung noon, rescue, no? 7-step solution to rescue your marriage before it starts to crumble. So
Yes.
start to download now your ebook. And then meron tayong bago. Last week nag-post tayo, tatay, ng isa pang additional information guide, yon isang guide on the topic of eating to happiness.
That's enrichment
Oo.
material.
So that's another enrichment material for you. Puro libre po yon.
Oh,
So
for free.
that's for
Yeah.
free, and you can just go to the site that I gave you, the link that I gave you, at doon nyo makukuha yung copy na yan.
Exciting na ito.
Yes, and sana yung nakapag-download, nabasa na rin nila yung mga guide at saka ebook na bigay natin sa kanila.
They have all the time.
Okay, so we also would like to greet those who are watching with us here sa Facebook page natin, sa Marriage Empowerment Tribe page natin.
Greetings.
Greetings, good morning, and then follow us in this particular page. So click the link para mabasa namin yung comment ninyo, and we can also acknowledge your presence. So good morning once again, good morning. And then yung mga nasa YouTube, tatay, no? Meron din tayong mga viewers na nandun sa YouTube. So,
Nandun sa YouTube.
yes, meron tayong channel doon. So, they can also subscribe sa channel natin, and at the same time, like, no? Like yung ano, para naman we will become encouraged sa Tuesdays, ano natin, episodes natin.
Expanding
Oo.
talaga.
So, good morning, and let's now look into ano ba yung pinag-usapan natin last Tuesday.
Recap.
I-recap.
Oh,
So nag-uusap tayo tungkol sa detoxification, i-detoxify natin yung mga sarili natin, and nakakatulong talaga yung marunong tayong mag-eliminate, no, ng mga food kung saan medyo yung katawan natin ay patungo sa health at saka happiness.
that is where discernment comes into play.
Yes, kasi alam natin na kung ano yung kinakain natin, may effect pala, may
Epekto.
effect sa health, at hindi lang sa health, pati sa emotional
Yes,
well-being
they are
natin.
very connected with each other.
Yes, and then tatlong malalaking bagay ata yung pinag-uusapan natin, tatay, na una, yung first step talaga na ginawa natin maliban sa detoxification at saka method of elimination is we change our mindset.
Yes.
And then mahalaga talaga yung disiplina, no? So,
Disiplina.
disiplina and
Disiplina ang kailangan sa ikauunlad ng
ng
bayan
katawan.
at katawan ngayon.
Sa ng katawan. At ang pangatlo is, of course, spiritual discipline. Yun yung pinag-uusapan natin. So sa ngayon naman, ang ating title sa episode na to is yung pagtugon ng good at saka bad news. Mahalaga pala yun.
Ano ba yung pagtugon?
response.
Oh,
So ano yung response natin if we are given or if we
oh,
hear good news or bad news, ano yung response natin sa partner natin? Eh mahalaga pala yon.
oh, very
And
important.
that is one thing na nakakapag-improve din ng relationship ng
Yes, I
mag-asawa.
agree. I really agree.
Mm-mm. So, Be, good morning once again. So, I would like to acknowledge the presence now of our brothers and sisters sa ngayon. So, ano tatay, sa tingin mo, yung kasal natin, good news or bad news?
Napaka-good news yan.
Ah,
Hindi lang sa'yo, sa akin din.
yung,
Nagtiyaga, nagsisipag for so many months and even a year.
ano ba yan?
That the big time has already come.
Okay,
Good news!
good news.
Good news!
Nung
Oh,
sinabi ko sa iyo na buntis na ako tatay.
ano ba yun? Um, very exciting and that's a very good news after months of waiting kasi
At saka,
okay.
yung response mo, talagang tumalon ka eh.
Oh,
Kasi medyo matagal bago nabuo
oh,
and tumalon ka na ah, yung saya mo, hindi ko talaga mag-drawing yung saya ng mukha
God.
mo.
Tatay na ako.
Oo, tatay ka na nga eh. So,
Tatay na ako.
another thing, tatay, na siguro, yung nawalan ka ng trabaho. Good news ba news?
Not so good news. It's a bad news appearing to me
Oo.
because that is livelihood. It's
Mm-mm.
bad news, I think.
Mm.
Hindi ako tumalon no na wala ako ng trabaho. Kasi hindi ako makatalon din. I had a stroke, so I decided to leave work.
Yeah,
So
nagkasakit
yeah,
ka pa, so it was really for us bad news, no?
bad news.
Parang hindi talaga siya maganda.
Nakaka-depress.
Mm,
Oh.
mm. And then yung uso yung sa ngayon yung plantito at saka plantita tatay, di ba? Oh,
Dito maliit na
then,
plant.
oh, yung nagtatanim,
Para.
yung lalaki daw na
Oh.
nagtatanim eh plantito. Eh, tapos yung babae na mahilig sa
Tao
tanim,
pala yun.
o
Akala ko ang
plantita.
plant yun
Oh,
maliit.
it's
Bonsai.
pag example, halimbawa, ikaw yung nagtatanim, tapos
Mm.
merong biglang bibili sa tanim mo, good news, bad
Oh,
news?
that would be good news. At least somebody is attracted to my plants. Plantito.
Plantito. Tapos, tay, pag ganito, yung sinabi ko sa iyo na, tay, may utang tayo.
Pag-utang lang, magdidepende yun. Kasi una, it will never be good news as appearing to me because there is liability in it. Magbabayad ka, not a good news. But on the other hand, it can also be good news because there is somebody out there giving you the trust, nagpapautang sa iyo. Pero pag palaki at palaki na yung utang at wala ka ng capability pagbayad, problema na yun. Bad news na talaga yun.
Magiging bad news yan.
Bad news na
Oo.
yun. Oh.
Yung sinasabi na may cancer yung nanay ko, talagang bad news yun sa atin.
Walang ngiti doon. Walang
Walang talagang
ngiti doon. It's not a rejoicing day.
yung sinabi last week na yung pamangkin mo nagka-COVID, nagka-positive sa COVID, di ba?
Hindi ka talaga mag-say, praise the Lord, hallelujah, I am rejoicing, nag-COVID yung...
Hindi.
Hindi naman.
So, dapat talaga bad news yung treatment
News,
natin
bad
yan.
news.
Oo.
Okay.
So, pag nakatanggap ka ng gift or surprise, ano sa tingin mo? Welcome po! Good morning!
Wow.
Hindi ko nakikita yung name, so kindly lang, click the link sa taas para above us para makita ko yung name ng nag-comment sa atin.
Okay, so
So pag nakatanggap ng gift o surprise, good news 'yun.
good news yun. Like, for instance, I received the greatest gift of my life. You as my spouse.
Oh, so
You
talagang good news
rejoicing,
'yun.
good news yun.
Oo. So alam mo ba tatay na sa life pala, sa buhay mag-asawa, mas marami daw yung good news kesa bad news. Totoo ba 'yan?
Ewan ko saan ba galing yung statement na
From
yun?
research kasi
Sister,
sabi talaga na
talaga kang may...
yung
Oh,
good news kaysa bad news. Pero mukha namang totoo, no? Sa case natin kasi, mas maraming good news every day, ha, every day.
Mm.
Mas maraming good news. Number one, pag nagising pa tayo both,
Good
good
news
news yan.
yan. No?
Meron pa tayong makain,
Good
good
news
news yan.
yan.
Also,
May maluluto ka pa, katulad
good news
kanina. Good
yan.
news yan.
Tapos, natapos natin yung labahin natin. Good
Good,
news yan.
good
Diba?
news yan.
So,
Kung hindi pa natapos.
uh, so, natapos pa natin yung ano, so good news yan. So, talagang, if you are going to be observant on what we have every day, talagang good news yung
Yes.
na ano natin.
I fully agree.
So, also, may maraming oras daw yung mag-asawang ginugugol sa bad news, let's say sa problema, kaysa good news.
Saan naman natin nakuha yan?
Pa naman kinukuha ko sa research.
Research na naman na talagang
So,
researcher ito.
nagbabasa ko kasama mo
Oo.
ito. So, which means, di ba, kung tutuusin naman, kung nagdi-discuss tayo kung
Mm.
paano bayaran yung utang, ano yung
Yes.
mode of payment, ano
Yes.
yung problema, siguro kung may na-hospital, and kailan kaya natin makukuha yung pambayad ng hospital, yung parang
Yun.
gano'n. Mas matagal tayo
Mm.
nag-uusap kumpara kung good news yung
That's why I am
usapan.
asking because seldom sa mag-asawa na mag-usap sa ganun, magbibilang. Ilan bang oras ang we are spending for talking about bad news? Seldom for couples to think about it.
Yes.
Mm.
So unknowingly, hindi tayo nagbibilang, pero pala, sa totoo, mas marami ang good news na hindi natin na-respond ng maayos kaysa bad news.
Nandoon sa research yan. O research-based tayo.
Research-based talaga tayo. And alam mo rin ba na may apat na estilo sa pagtugon?
Hindi ko alam yan. Baka ngayon
Malalaman mo na.
malalaman mo.
Oo.
O walang script ito, guys. Walang script ito.
So, ako lang ata yung nagbabasa ano ng mga ano sources natin. So, sabi kasi tatay, ito yung mga kahalagahan no na sinasabi natin na yung tamang tugon ng good news, mas maganda kung nasa good news yung focus kasi konti lang yung tumutugon ng maayos sa good news. Sa bad news, okay na siya.
Paramihan.
Nag-uusap.
Even in
Yes.
social media, paramihan yan.
Yes, even
Maraming views.
Oo.
Milyones ang views.
basta bad news.
Basta bad news.
Oo. Kahit nga yung sa newspaper, di ba, sa headlines, bad news yung
Bad
mga
news yun.
hinahanap. Ano?
Digmaan, conflicts, parang ba Diyos, patayan, at saka chismisan. Okay, bad news talaga yun. So, paramihan yung nagdi-discuss sa bad news kaysa good news.
So, ayun. So, and then meron tayong isang learning na when people share the news of a positive event with others or celebrated the event in some way, they experience greater positive impact. And totoo yan sa atin
Yes.
na parang positive yung outlook natin sa buhay at saka yung day natin pag naumpisahan siya ng positive, hindi tayo nag-aaway, hindi tayo medyo yung boses natin mabibigat, yung parang aura natin, yung energy natin sa araw na yon,
Yes.
positive siya,
Yes.
parang the whole day ay nagiging positive na rin.
Tama yun. The whole day, we are having good news in our lives.
Okay. And then we also have yung nag-share ng good news. Supposing ako yung nag-share ng good news, tatay, iba rin pala yung effect ng good news na yan sa akin because good news nga sa akin, positive na sa akin.
Yes.
Tapos, sinasabi ko sa'yo,
Yes.
tatay, ito yung good news ko. Eh, yung response mo, mas affected ako at mas affected yung disposition ko sa tao pag yung response mo ay maganda.
Yes.
Kasi pag maganda yung response mo, parang nagre-reflect na lalo akong sasaya. Pero pag yung response mo ay hindi masyadong positive yung response mo sa good news ko sa'yo, maa-affected din yung disposition.
Scenario is like this, the way I take it. Nagsishare ka sa akin ng good news. My response would be very important to you because it will affect your disposition. Okay? Tama ba? Okay, so ano ba yun? pag hindi ko tinanggap yun with a good disposition, mawawala ba yung good news na binigay mo sa
Nandiyan
akin?
pa rin yung good
Yeah.
news, kaso nga lang, yung emotions ko mag-iba.
Mag-iba yung,
Yeah, kaya nga yung
okay.
disposition ko, iiba yung disposition ko kasi para, let's say for example, meron
Example,
akong good
example.
news, tapos sabi mo lang,
Kasal, sa kasal.
okay,
Magpakasal na tayo.
magpakasal na tayo.
Oo, be.
Tapos
Sige,
good
drama,
news
drama,
yun.
drama.
Oo,
Oh, 1, 2, 3, go.
oo, tapos good news yun. Tapos
Mm.
sasabihin mo, okay, kasal na tayo.
Oh, sige, pakasal tayo. Kailan ang gusto mo?
Ako ba, ako ba yung nagsasabing pakasal na tayo? Ikaw naman eh.
Oo,
Pero
okay.
ganun.
Buntis naman, buntis. Sabihin mo,
So, buntis ako tatay.
ano,
Buntis.
ano ba? Sino ang ama?
So, mag-iiba,
Okay ba?
yung response.
Yes.
Pag ano, yung reaction ko, ma-affected kasi iba yung response mo. Nagalit ka, hindi ka
Nagalit.
naging excited. Oo.
Bakit ka nabuntis?
So, parang ganun na rin. Yeah, then, yung tawag na yun, tatay, is capitalization.
Okay.
So, meron siyang tinatawag natin na capitalization na kinakapitalize ko yung good news na yan at yun yung kung ano man yung response mo, yun yung paghuhugutan ko or
Mm.
doon ko kukunin yung suporta, doon ko
Okay.
kukunin yung lakas, yung saya at saka yung
Okay.
pagmamahal.
Meaning my response would become very critical in so far as you are concerned.
Yes,
Okay.
because I will know that you are supportive and I will know that you are
Affirming.
my strength and
Yes.
you are affirming with
Yes.
that particular and then you are happy too. So that is one thing na medyo magbigay rin sa akin ng positive energy. At
Okay.
saka I will know that you love me.
I get everything. Oh, that's
Mm.
great. That's great. Okay.
So napakaganda talaga kung right yung response. Kaso nga lang, yun yung hindi itinuturo sa atin. And parang wala lang, di ba? Pag parang birthday niya ngayon, birthday mo pala, happy birthday.
Happy
Parang,
birthday.
parang
Parang ganun lang.
wala siyang energy. So, hindi maganda kung yung response natin ay medyo nega yung dating sa nagbabalita ng good news.
Let me define.
Yes.
Pag magre-respond kami, dapat may energy.
Dapat may
Oh my God! Oh, ganun ba?
Oo, dapat lang.
Okay.
So, dapat lang. So, ganun
Dapat may
talaga.
energy. May energy talaga. Alive. So, like, buntis ka. Oh, I am so happy. There should be some sort of energy. We have to be passionate in our response. Because passion is energy, guys. No?
Mm-mm.
Passion is energy. Okay?
So, good morning kay Sir Franklin and mayroon na tayong kanina pa pala siya nag ano sa atin, hindi natin nakita sa comments. So, good morning Sir Franklin, good morning.
Good morning,
And
Sir
then
Frank.
meron kasing mga resulta tayo. Meron mga results kung ano yung mangyayari. Number one result, kung paano yung mga partners mag-reply sa good news, magdedetermine yan, indicator yan, na yung relationship is healthy relationship and happy relationship.
Okay.
Oo. So, if yung response mo sa good news ko ay positive din yung dating sa akin, yung parang indicator siya na okay tong relasyon namin.
Sa research yan.
Oo. So we have to look into that also.
And that is, I think, true. Because may problema talaga if the response is not so positive. Parang
parang walang
walang buhay.
walang intensity, walang energy,
walang pakialam.
walang inspiration.
Walang inspiration.
So result number 2, tatay, when couples tell their partner about a happy event, they feel a stronger tie to their partner. So merong connection at saka greater security in our relationship. And nakikita ko naman talaga yan eh. Minsan pag meron tayong good news tapos sinasabi ko sa'yo, alam ko pag masaya ka rin sa response mo, alam ko na parang connected tayo sa isa't isa. Na parang kasi 'di ba pag sinasabi mo na buntis ako tapos sabihin mo lang sa akin na Okay, buntis ka
Buntis.
pala.
Nagalit pa.
Parang
Mm.
merong disconnection na
Okay.
portion,
Rejection.
lalo na sa feeling ng mga babae,
Babae.
ng mga wifeys. Kasi emotions yung parang pinapairal namin eh. So, yun yung medyo hindi maganda. So, ang unang estilo, tatay, dito tayo sa mga estilo ng pagtugon ng good news. Ang unang estilo, yung encouraging.
Encouraging.
Oo, so paano ba yung nai-encourage ako? Dapat high yung energy, tapos high yung
Mm.
support mo.
And the words that will come out of my mouth shall be encouraging words.
Mm.
Words of affirmation like, sabihin mo sa akin, buntis ako.
Mm-mm.
K-drama.
Tapos buntis ako, tay.
Oh, that's great. Take care. You have
Eh,
to
yung
take.
iba pa nga, dapat high energy talaga.
Masakit yung kamay ko.
High energy at
Masakit.
saka high support.
Oh, masakit
Very
yung kamay.
enthusiastic.
Yeah, oh.
Yung minsan nga tumatalon pa nga yung
Oh,
yung high na high talaga.
oh,
Oo, matanda ka na talaga
matanda
dahil
na
ayaw
yun.
mo nang
Oh,
tumalon.
yung,
Pero yun yung parang extreme eh. Parang extreme na
okay.
talagang tatalon ka sa saya. Very high yung energy mo at saka
Okay.
very high yung
Yan
support.
ang gusto ninyo sa mga
Oo,
babae.
very encouraging. Yan yung enthusiastic ka talaga, happy. Kasi pag
Oh,
makikita mo na, happy at saka excited. Tatay, nanalo tayo sa loto.
oh,
Parang,
hindi yan kasi morally. Oh,
so,
ayaw ko yan.
so pag talagang meron kang 2 million, sino ba namang hindi
Okay.
tatalon, di ba? So,
Naluto ng pagkain natin sa dinner.
oh,
Yes!
yun, may
Kainan.
energy at saka may
Kainan.
support.
Kainan na.
Tapos yung pangalawang response na medyo, ah, eto na, yung siguro high yung energy, pero low yung support.
Mm,
Yung critical yung tao.
critical yung tao.
Oo. Let's say, for example, perfect ako. Naranasan ko kasi noon eh, yung sinabi ko sa friend ko na, perfect ako sa sa test namin. Perfect ako. Yung parang ganun ka.
Yes.
Tapos yung sinabihan mo, sinasabi lang, eh, hindi ka ba nangopya? Ba't ka nagka-perfect?
Ah,
Oh, parang critical
critical
yan.
yun.
Oh.
Hindi rin
So, di ba, parang,
nakaka-discourage.
yes.
Indirect, in a very indirect way. Para siyang happy, pero yung support system wala doon, nakaka-discourage.
Parang
Mm.
naiinsulto ka rin na I'm just telling you na nagbunga yung hirap ko, and then I got successful with all the sacrifices na hindi ako natulog ng maaga, nag-aral ako ng mabuti, at saka iyon na yung result ng hirap ko. Tapos sinasabi ko sa yung perfect ako, tapos bigla lang sabihin, eh, hindi ka ba nangopya? Ba't ka na perfect?
Mm.
So parang insulto yon na wala siyang trust sa
Yeah.
akin.
Parang may epekto yan sa disposisyon mo. Parang magsi-self-pity ka
Mm,
later.
mm.
May iba yung sa anak natin, nag-tutor ako sa math, naalala mo yun. At saka bumalik yung anak, parang very excited. Tay, tay, ano yung sinabi niya?
Zero ko
Di ba?
tay.
Pero iba yung sinabi na, score na, my score tay is 10/0.
Oh, yun, binaligtad niya, naging 10
Ah,
over 0.
ah,
So, tumawa na lang tayo, di ba?
okay.
And then, pag critical kasi, tatay, the one who receives the news, the good news, always finds a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, always finds a problem in it. Let's say, for example, sasabihan ka niya na, huwag kang masaya dyan, baka mamaya iiyak ka
Yeah.
kasi hindi totoo yan.
Hindi totoo yan.
Parang ganon. Yung nakaka-depress, nakaka-stress din sa sana parang yung feeling mo na high ka na sana, ah, parang naging critical siya
Yeah.
sa ginagawa mo, no?
How much more if the one responding is somebody close to you, your partner, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
and this is very hurting
Mhm.
if yung sinabihan mo at ganun yung response, naging critical siya sa good news mo, eh yung hobby mo or yung
Oo.
wifey mo. So very discouraging siya. And then in a critical mode, no, pag critical yung tao, yung tinatawag natin na high yung energy pero low yung support. Parang
Mm.
parang meron naman, alam mo naman na masaya siya, no? My partner points out the potential downsides na alam mo naman na masaya siya, kaya lang um, parang hindi mo nakikita. Kasi
Parang bulag.
oo, hindi mo nakikita kasi very critical siya sa puntong 'yon. So, uh, walang word of encouragement na you have to go with it. Pag sinabihan mo na tanggap ako sa job ko for abroad.
Wala naman.
Tapos, very, parang nandiyan naman yung energy. Ah,
Ah,
congratulations, tanggap ka pala. Pero wag kang umasa niyan.
ah,
Parang merong pero.
okay.
Oo. So,
So maputol yung happy disposition mo.
yes, napuputol yung happy disposition ko na tanggap sana ako for a work abroad, for a job
Pero
abroad. Pero sinabi ng partner ko, ay, natanggap ka, oo nga, pero wag kang masyadong kampante. Baka, so lahat ng negative things na yung sasabihin niya.
tanggap ako, pero parang hindi ako tanggap.
Oo,
Sabi ng partner.
parang mayroong ah, additional situation na sasabihin niya na magdududa ka na rin sa sarili mo. Now, should I continue doing this or not? Kasi there is somebody nga
Close to him.
nagsasabi, very, very close ko na nagsasabi negatively about the event. So, medyo hindi siya encouraging yung pangalawa. Yung pangatlo naman, by the way, tatay, yung tinatawag natin sa pangalawa na critical yung partner, yun yung tinatawag natin na active. So, high yung energy, active, pero yung support niya, distracted.
Distracting.
Oo, low yung support.
Pinuputol niya.
Oo, so low yung support niya. And then yung pangatlo naman na ano natin, estilo
Response.
ng pagtugon is yung passive tapos constructive. Yung low yung energy niya, walang energy, pero alam mo na high yung support niya. So,
Parang ganito, buntis ka. Sige, buntis ka. We will plan it out. There is support.
there is
Ah,
support. There is support. So,
Iba yung tao
siguro
niya.
kumain ka ng maayos, matulog ka ng maaga,
That's
pero
really life.
oo, that's
Mabubuntis ka talaga kasi
nag-asawa
mag-asawa ka,
ka, yung parang
mag-asawa.
gano'n. Boring naman
Ganun.
yan.
Ganun talaga, anak. Sa buhay, papasa ka, babagsak ka din. Pero sige lang. Okay.
So, yun yung tinatawag na passive yung response.
Positive response.
Passive yung response niya na medyo high yung support pero low yung energy. Walang kabuhay-buhay.
Ano bang tingin mo sa akin? Ganun.
Walang kabuhay-buhay, no?
Uy,
So,
mga
so ano ba yung na-experience nyo sa mga responses ng mga
tanungin mo naman yung
wifeys at saka ng hubbies ninyo? Critical ba sila? Encouraging ba? Or passive ba? So, medyo high yung energy, high support, yun yung encouraging.
encouraging.
Oo. High yung energy pero low support, yun naman yung critical. Meron namang low energy pero high yung support, eto naman yung passive.
Passive siya.
Passive siya. Pero meron din tayong tinatawag na low yung energy, tapos low pa yung support.
That is the worst response.
Para
Low
sa
ang
akin.
energy, low din ang support system. Yeah. Ano ba yun? My good news, good news.
So, para sa akin, tatay, kung low yung energy at saka low yung support, palpak ka talaga. Palpak yung partner. Kasi,
May good news, yan.
good
Para
news.
response is low, all
Yes.
low.
Low yung energy, tsaka low yung support. Pero, good news yung sinasabi ko. Kaya nga lang, yung partner ko does not care much. Yung parang dead ma lang. Yung baliwala lang sa kanya, yung good news ko, sasabi ko, buntis ako, tatay. Wala, dead ma lang. Wala nga kahit kahit smile.
Walang smile.
Oo.
Okay.
So, yung parang disinterested.
We're used to it. That's a habit. So, bye. I am going to my work. Parang ganon.
And in fact, does not pay attention.
Yeah.
The husband or the wife, when you tell them the good news, they do not give the full attention. No? Parang walang atensyon, parang merong ibang ginagawa, merong ibang pinapakinggan, deadma
Deadma
lang,
lang.
walang nangyayari. So,
Oo.
grabe talaga, palpak para sa akin, palpak yun.
Silence yun sa bahay.
Yung English ng palpak is deflective eh. So,
Okay.
yung low energy at saka low yung support, talagang ah, ako mismo, yung nagbibigay ng good news na yan, I will be disappointed, I will be frustrated. Minsan nga, it can cause anger and it can cause, merong iba nagtatantrum, 'di ba? Yung parang walang recognition kasi. Yung feeling mo, hindi niya nire-recognize yung ako as a person, no? Hindi na lang sa good news, kundi as a person, yung pagkatao ko.
May balita ka sa akin. For example, sinabi mo, na-promote ako sa trabaho. Magsabi ka lang, makikinig ako after a few seconds. Natulog ako, ganun ba?
Parang wala lang.
Okay.
Dinidedma mo lang
So
ako.
guys, huwag niyong tulugan yun.
Yes. So, very crucial yung response ng mga
Ayun.
partners sa good news, no? So, pag kahit lang siguro yung good news, busog ako, busog na busog ako, tapos ikaw yung nagluto.
Natulog.
So, yung parang ganon.
Uh,
Kay, sinasabi din, and I think this is true in our relationship. Ewan ko lang sa iba, no, kung ano yung resulta sa inyo. Pero eto yung nakikita ko rin sa aming mag-asawa na pag yung response ng good news ko is high energy at saka high support, yung meron siyang positive correlation, meron siyang relationship na maganda sa intimacy natin.
Parang konektado
Oo.
sa intimacy.
It's yung ano natin, yung satisfaction natin sa ating relationship, sa ating marriage.
Konektado din sa
Connected
satisfaction. So,
siya.
parang tatlo yan.
At the same time, dahil nga good news, tapos yung response, positive energy, at saka positive yung support, high yung support, magkaroon ng mga positive activities.
Okay, so parang ganito, may response, konektado yan sa intimacy ng couple, at konektado din yan sa level of satisfaction that will end up in activities, positive activities. Ganun ba yun?
Yes.
Okay.
For me, it's really true, no, sa atin na pag sinasabi ko sa iyo na, "Uy, tatay, yung gano'n yan." Sa ating dalawa, ako yung mas energetic, mas expressive ako. So, pag sinasabi ko, tapos yung response mo is high energy din, at saka high support. I feel so close to you, at saka meron. Nagiging intimate tayo. Diba? And then we can think of more positive activities na siguro ganito yung gawin natin para lalong masaya, diba?
So, pag natulog tayo sa gabi, parang intimate na tayo. Oh.
Dahil mayroong good news.
Oo.
Oo. So, pero meron din siyang kung ano, yung three styles, yung parang passive ka lang, critical ka pa, palpak ka pa as a husband or as a wife in the response of the good news. Yung ano niya is negative relationship na pag ganon yung response mo sa partner mo na very critical ka, may good news pero very critical ka, deadma mo lang siya, tapos very passive ka lang, no? At saka palpak ka talaga, hindi mo ni-respond yung maayos, yung good news na bigay ng wifey or ni hubby mo. Automatically, magda-down din yung intimacy. Yung pati na yung satisfaction, magda-down din yung satisfaction.
That will explain why some couples have a difficult time of cultivating intimate relationship.
Positive lang, magpa-positive relationship lang sa conflicts, sa daily conflicts natin. So, mas maraming away, then siguro ito yung pwedeng i-measure ninyo, no, sa inyong relationship na pag medyo mas maraming away, daily na away, kung medyo mas maraming daily na away, tingnan nyo kung paano kayo nag-respond sa good news ninyo sa araw-araw. Ano yung good news? Nakagising kayo ng maayos, may kinakain pa kayo, Yung
Yes.
mga bata, healthy yung mga bata, good news yun
Yes.
eh. Safe yung travel ninyo,
Yes.
may promotion, ano pa
May
ba?
trabaho pa in the
No,
midst of COVID.
in the midst of COVID,
Oh,
ano yung naging response ninyo sa mga good news na yan? Kasi daw, pag maganda, high energy at high support yung response natin, mas konti yung daily conflicts, mas
yes.
mataas yung satisfaction,
Yes.
at saka mas mataas yung intimacy natin.
Yes.
Okay? At saka makapag-isip kayo ng magagandang bagay at saka positive activities. So yan talaga yung medyo positive result, no? Pag
Yes.
merong high energy at saka high support sa responses natin sa magagandang balita.
Yeah, good news. That's good news. So couples must be actually taking opportunity for that good news
Mm-mm.
is in order to strengthen intimacy and enhance level of satisfaction, right?
Mm-mm.
But that's good news. If they cannot capitalize good news in their relationship, how much more bad news, right?
Mm-mm.
So if good news we find difficult times cultivating, capitalizing it in our relationship, how much more bad news? Kasi my good news, ang response is something negative. How much more if that is something bad news,
Mm-mm.
right? And actually, okay, if that happens, then couples will have a difficult time dealing with bad news if they have a difficult time capitalizing good news in the relationship, right, Jen?
Yes. And pag nag-uusap na sila, talagang papunta sa conflicts.
Yes.
Kasi pag yung concentration nyo, yung focus nyo ay nasa bad news lang kasi
Mm.
mas sa research kasi nakikita and even us, no, yung ano talaga, yung by average, yung mag-asawa mas pinag-uusapan yung bad
Mm.
news kaysa good news. So ang mangyayari, yung day mo, talagang negative na yung energy na
Yeah.
papasok. And most probably, mas maraming conflicts kung yung ano natin, yung focus natin ay nasa bad news.
And a very practical thing here is, if nagko-conflict tayo despite the good news because of our wrong responses, how much more if it is bad news? Right?
Yes.
How much more if it is bad news? So the very practical thing here is, if that is our situation now, then refrain from bad news. It's better to have good news and then struggle to capitalize it, to cultivate intimacy, and then enhance level of satisfaction rather than dealing with bad news and you have no capability of converting it into something good, right?
Yes. Mm. So, mahalaga talaga yung ipapakita natin na nandyan yung saya at
Yes.
saka nandyan yung support
Mm.
natin na eto yung event, eto yung medyo nagbibigay saya sa partner
Mm.
mo at andyan ka rin, parang you are there to play the same tune with your partner.
That's attuning the spirit.
Yes, that is
Okay.
attuning the spirit.
And we were actually, this is connected to our discussion with the anatomy of love, intimacy, and then passion.
Passion,
Okay. So we're not departing from our original framework here, guys. It's still the same, but we are just trying to enrich and deepen it based on research and our very own
experiences.
experiences in life. Okay. So,
Kasi walang masyadong nagdi-discuss nito, tatay, na yung palang pagtugon natin, 'di ba? Wala talagang masyadong nagdi-discuss nito na, hoy, yung papaano ka tumugon sa mga good news. Obvious kasi pag bad news, yung tugon natin minsan nagagalit,
mm,
nagta-tantrum, nasi-stress, upset, yung mga
yeah,
ganon, yung mga response pag bad news. Pero pag good news, hindi tayo tinuruan kung paano ba natin i-respond yung mga good news? Yung ano lang natin, yeah, tawa tayo, pero minsan meron tayong mga additional phrases na nakakasakit pala. And yun yung naging destructive,
yeah,
naging critical tayo, naging passive. Uh, Kaya nga minsan mayroong mga wifeys na sinasabi na hindi siya sumagot, pero alam ko na masaya din siya, na supportive
Mm.
siya sa akin, pero hindi siya sumagot. 'Di ba mayroong gano'n?
May sagot siya pero iba yung very symbolic, parang nagbibigay siya ng words, you have to decipher it para bang propeta.
Pero pero sabi sabi nila,
Oo,
destructive pa rin siya in
destructive.
a very minimal way na hindi sumagot si Habil. Yung meron akong good news, hindi siya
Yes, ma'am.
sumagot. Tapos nag-interpret na lang si wifey na,
Oo,
he is so silent but I know that he is happy for me.
oo.
Opinion ko yan eh.
Torture yan on your part.
Oh,
No?
na,
Pabigat yung iniisip mo because of his being silent.
Kahit nasa passive ano ka eh,
Mm.
ah, low yung energy mo, pero parang yung interpretation ko, high yung support
Yeah.
mo. Pero parang destructive pa rin siya in a way, in a very minimal way lang ha, na very destructive din siya sa relationship natin. Kasi minsan, papasok din sa, talaga bang tama yung opinion ko na he
Oh.
is
So
supportive, yung
the
parang
whole day will be entertaining that doubt in your mind.
secure ka minsan.
Ma-insecure.
Mm.
Palagi ba yung ma-insecure yung babae?
Kasi yung need ng babae is not only love but
Uh,
also security. So kahit
Security talaga.
sinasabi niyo araw-araw na you love me, very secured yung babae.
Insecure
Kasi
talaga.
dalawa na yan, assuring na ako pa rin yung mahal mo.
Ano po yung security namin? Talagang magsasabi ka sa akin.
Sa'yo, respect lang at saka honor.
Okay. Alam mo. Buti, alam mo
So,
yan. Okay.
lumayo na tayo sa topic na yan. So, ah, kasi pa, ano na, patapos na yung time natin, ano.
Okay.
So, yung apat na estilo ng pagtugon natin sa good news ng mga partners natin ay talagang we have to be mindful, no? We have to be intentional in answering, in responding the good news. And what is best? Apat sila, pero isa lang yung parang napaka-best, yung high energy at
Mm.
saka high yung support ni partner. So when you are encouraging to your partner, that's the best response.
Yes.
Then the second one is merong high energy pero low support naman, so very critical si partner. Merong low energy, high support, hindi rin maganda kasi parang passive lang, deadma lang si partner. Yung medyo talagang masama, palpak talaga is low pa yung energy, low pa yung support ni partner. So, yung tatlo ito, yung last three na to is, this is not a good response. Why? Because it can lower the intimacy,
Mhm.
it can lower the satisfaction of your marriage, the health of your marriage, and at the same time, medyo nakakahatid siya on a daily conflict,
Yeah.
no? So mas prone siya na magkaroon ng conflict yung
So the
mag-asawa.
ideal thing is the first one.
Yes, the
Okay.
ideal one is high energy at saka high yung support natin
Okay.
sa isa't isa.
Yes. I fully agree. And that has been a very practical insight to all of us, actually, because that in many instances, in many cases, there are many situations in the life of a couple which cannot be understood. And probably this can be a very helpful insight to make us all understand why there exists conflict and why one spouse, for instance, is not so satisfied and why our intimacy level is not going high. Probably
Mm.
this can be of help, but it will all depend on your situation. You are the master of your destiny as couples. You know each other very well at the very start. You know your beginning, and of course, you know what is going on in your life. This can only provide an insight of what is going on in our married life because married life is very complicated. It has lots of troubles, lots of issues in life. But the good thing here is there is such a thing as good news. The only thing we do is to capitalize it in order to cultivate intimacy and in order to end up in what is known as level of satisfaction, ending up in positive
And tsaka yung health and
activities.
happipiness ng
Okay.
relationship, no? Yung
Okay.
health and happiness ng marriage natin ay nakasalalay siya, being dependent din siya kung paano natin i-deal yung mga maliliit na bagay, minsan petty siya,
Mm.
but then it can cause trouble to our marriages.
And this insight is not so very scientific or very philosophical. This is just simple common sense,
Mm-mm.
right? This is just simple common sense philosophy. Students will understand that the roads to knowledge, you have common sense, then you go higher scientific, you go higher philosophical. But this is just plain and simple common sense and sido common.
Mm. So, mahalaga talaga na natututunan natin, 'di ba? We learned this already from years ago,
Mm.
no? While inaano natin yung mentoring natin, yung assessment natin sa sarili, because we cannot just give assessment to other people, we cannot just mentor other people kung kami mismo hindi kami nag-a-assess sa sarili naming experiences, and hindi namin na-check kung ano yung kulang sa relationship
Mm.
namin, kung ano yung mali namin. So, we are able to share this to you because we were also able to experience it na minsan meron kang good news, high yung energy, tsaka high yung support.
Mm.
And very encouraging yan sa akin.
Yeah.
And minsan naman, minsan lang, no? Minsan, meron kang good news, tapos siya yung nakakakita ng mga bad,
Mm.
yung meron kang foresight, di ba, minsan na wag
Oh.
kang masyadong masaya, pero para sa akin pala, hindi, parang naputol yung saya ko,
Okay.
no? So, so in that case, hindi siya maganda, no? So maybe siguro kung nakikita mong high na high pa yung wife mo dahil good news yung bigay niya sa iyo, eh makipag-high ka na rin. High
Okay.
energy
So,
at
wag
saka high
mong
support.
putulin.
Huwag mong
Later
putulin.
na lang in some other appropriate and timely conversations. At
Ibigay.
least I know that. I did not know that it's all about it. Only for it. Yeah, yeah.
Tapos mo na lang yung mga an hour
At
later, uy, yung nakikita ko,
talon ako ng
ah,
talon at magtatanong, bakit ako tumalon?
ito yung nakikita ko na parang foresight mo na
Yes.
parang merong diferensya kung ito yung ano. So, mas hindi siya negative yung dating sa akin.
Okay.
So, passive, yung parang deadma ka lang, silent ka lang, minsan, di ba, kung yung asawa mo is a silent person na hindi masyadong matabil, tapos high na high ka na, tapos sa kanya very low yung energy, deadma lang,
Mm.
walang response. So, it's also a an indicator na baka hindi siya masaya, no, sa ikinasasaya mo.
That's why there is such a thing, as you mentioned before, celebrate. Okay,
Mm-mm.
pag may good
Celebrate each
news,
other.
the next thing here is celebrate. That's good news. My response would be, let's celebrate. I think that would be the appropriate term. Let's celebrate rather than destroy the good news by my negative response. Right?
Yes.
Good. So,
So what will be your parting words for them, Tatay?
our response to good and bad news, I think, and I firmly believe, and insofar as my experience to it is concerned, will all depend on the condition. It will all depend on the condition of my inner self, our inner self, which I call the heart. Why? Because if our heart, this is one scenario, if our heart is so full of woundedness, full of hurts, bitterness, for instance, mistrust, or our heart is so toxic, the response to bad news basically is to amplify, magnify that bad news, or make it worse. Share the bad news, amplify the bad news. And your response and our response to good news is to make it bad. That would be the inclination, I believe. You will not find good in that something good, but it will be later on becoming it will become bad news. But if our heart is so healthy and free of woundedness, free of toxins, free of bitterness, free of resentments, our response to something But our response to good news first is to amplify the good news, to celebrate the good news, to share the good news, rejoice with it with joy. And if our heart is so healthy, our response to bad news would be different. We will respond to bad news by simply calling it, this is a challenge. This is a natural trial for us to be strong, and which we can deal with faith, with hope, and with love. It's time of Lent. This is time of Lent. In fact, this is a 1 week before Holy Week. And I believe that this is now the time to examine our hearts, if so wounded, if our hearts today are so wounded as a wife, as a husband, it's time to let go of this woundedness and ask for healing of this woundedness. There is one keyword there: God's grace will provide healing to this woundedness. And if our heart is so healthy, then celebrate it and pray for the sealing. It has to be sealed by grace so that it will not be wounded while we go on with our journey. This is the only way, I think. This is like celebrating 500 years of Christian presence in our country this year, 2021. Why? It's good news, actually. Good news that we have known, and we tend to live it, we tend to share it. But the moment we remain in a woundedness, we remain in a bitterness, we can never share, amplify this good news to the rest of our brethren. Thank you, and may God
Be
bless us all.
praised. Okay, so salamat tatay, ano? So salamat din sa for being with us in 1 hour time. And we thank you for those who are watching with us in the Facebook page. You may just follow us through sa Facebook page, sa YTube. Sa YouTube channel naman natin, you have to subscribe in our channel para ma-notify namin kayo kung meron kaming bagong video. And of course, salamat sa mga taga Met Tribers natin, no? Marriage Empowerment Tribers na exclusive group natin kung saan talaga dito ako nagko-concentrate, nagbibigay ng mga guides at saka ebooks natin. So you may download also those materials and be with us every Tuesday 9 to 10 in the
9 to
morning.
10.
And this is our seventh episode
7 to
already.
8.
Eighth
Eighth
episode ba?
episode.
Seventh parang?
7.
Seventh episode. Oo. So, this is good morning and this is good news actually, you know. So, and we are happy that we are able to persevere yung schedule namin. Good news talaga, we are able to persevere and we are still here every Tuesdays giving you um, some insights on how we are going to respond
Yes.
to the good news that our partners are bringing unto us, no? Kung ano
Yes.
yung, and we have to continue the high energy and we have
Yes.
to continue the high support. Be
Okay.
encouraging with your partners. For that, you will be able to empower your marriages.
Even in these times of pandemic,
Yes.
empower,
Oh, yeah, we
continue.
have to empower each other kasi COVID pa naman, so kailangang
Mm.
i-empower natin yung isa't isa. So, God bless everyone, and we will have our morning toast,
Okay.
marriage empowerment toast once again. So, God bless everyone. Good day. Good morning. Thank you for being here. God bless.